used to think babysitting was an easy gig. You watch some kids, make sure they don't get into trouble, and wait for their parents to come home. But that night, at the Harrisons' house, I learned just how wrong I could be. It was an old house, the kind with creaky floors and doors that never quite closed right. Meister and Mrs. Harrison were in a hurry when they left, but before they walked out the door, Mrs. Harrison handed me a small, rusty key. "This is the key to the basement," she said. "Please, no matter what happens, don't open the door." I remember nodding, thinking it was just one of those weird house rules. But after they left, the house felt different, heavier somehow. The kids, Benny and Sophie, were playing quietly in the living room, but I could tell they were on edge. A couple of hours passed, and everything seemed fine. That's when I heard it. A soft, scratching noise coming from downstairs. It was faint at first, like something was moving just below the floorboards. I tried to ignore it, but it kept getting louder, more insistent. I went to check on the kids, and that's when I noticed they were huddled together on the couch, staring at the basement door. Benny's face was pale. "It's coming," he whispered. "What's coming?" I asked, but he just shook his head, eyes wide with fear. The scratching stopped, replaced by a low, rhythmic thumping, like something was banging on the door from the inside. The key Mrs. Harrison gave me felt like it was burning a hole in my pocket. I should have left it alone. I should have taken the kids and run, but I didn't. Instead, I walked over to the basement door, the key clutched tightly in my hand. I'll never forget how cold the doorknob felt, how the metal seemed to pulse under my fingers. The thumping grew louder, faster, as I slid the key into the lock. With a click, the door creaked open, revealing a dark stairwell leading down into the basement. A foul, musty smell wafted up, like something had been rotting down there for years. I hesitated, but then I heard it. A voice, soft and pleading, calling out from the darkness. It sounded like a child. I don't know what came over me, but I took a step forward, then another, until I was halfway down the stairs. The voice grew louder, more desperate. "Help me," it whispered. The basement was pitch black, but I could feel something watching me, something just out of sight. My heart was pounding so hard, I thought it might burst out of my chest. Then, without warning, the door slammed shut behind me. The basement was plunged into darkness, and the voice changed. It wasn't pleading anymore. It was laughing. A cold, hollow sound that echoed around the room. I turned to run, but I couldn't find the stairs. It was like the basement had swallowed them whole. The laughter grew louder. I screamed and stumbled back, crashing into something solid. My hands fumbled for the wall, the door, anything to get me out of that horrible place. Just when I thought I was lost, the door flew open, flooding the basement with light. Benny and Sophie were standing there, eyes wide, but it wasn't them who saved me. I don't know what it was, but something forced that door open. Something that wanted me out. I ran up the stairs and slammed the door shut behind me, locking it tight. I grabbed the kids and waited by the front door until their parents came home. When they did, I didn't say a word. I just handed Mrs. Harrison the key and walked out. I don't babysit anymore, and I don't go near basements, because whatever was down there that night, it's still waiting, and next time, I don't think it'll let me go.